This is Lance and I'm back with a new video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And we're back on a project that I've done before. And now we're doing an upgrade. Now what I mean by upgrade is the customer, I've done this Dodge Ram twice now. Now we're going for the third upgrade in this car, this truck. So in the past we did we fixed the system the way it was. We had to do a wire rescue. We had to clean up everything. We put a new DSP, we tuned it, and that was the first one. So we did the Alpine radio, we did the JL 4-channel, we did the RD 500. The customer had a 10-inch box behind the seat, underneath the seat with a seat lift, and we tuned it and we made it sound phenomenal. Then the customer said, hey, I want to do more. And this goes to show that you can always do more with a system no matter what you do. So we then next upgraded to a better box, which is the JL box here that you can see here, the Ram box, which turned out really nicely. And we added an Alpine piggyback amp because he wanted to control the rear speakers off the DSP, which in the previous iteration of the system it was controlled off the radio. So we did that and it turned out really well. And we had the amp rack under the passenger seat. So now so we have Focal crossovers, the Hertz DSP, and another Focal crossover here. And so literally we also have the Alpine amp here. We're gonna eliminate all this and go to one DSP amplifier in the JL, and we're gonna bridge that to the door mid basses. We're also gonna remodify these doors because he had a 6.5 in there and they had a spacer on there and he wanted to upgrade, but I gotta cut that door panel. To make it so it works fine. So we got a lot of work cut out for us. We're gonna do the Audison Forza amplifier, 8-channel, and we're also going to do the new DRC MP can. That should be fun. So I'm excited to play with the DRC MP can with the new amplifier. It just makes it easier to eliminate that controller. So we don't want to put that controller, the Audison controller, and that space there. So it should be pretty cool. So stay tuned, I'll pull all this stuff out. We also got to do some stuff underneath the hood. We got to rewire underneath the hood because he bought a brand new alternator to upgrade that. And we got to do some wiring on that. So it's going to be an interesting task. Just hang on for the ride. I'm going to pull all this stuff out and then we're going to move forward from there. So just stay tuned. It's going to be fun. This is Lance wrapping up the Dodge Ram for the third time. So customer came in. We had some wiring that I wasn't a fan of. So what we did was we cleaned up all his wiring, and I'll put some pictures of what we did as far as what it looked like before. We upgraded his battery terminals because he wanted to do a big 3 upgrade. He also got a bigger alternator. So he got the bigger alternator and we cleaned up all the wiring for that. We ran a 2-gauge wire to the ground. We upgraded all the all the blocks itself, secured them, tightened up his wiring so it looked all nice and tight. We upgraded his fuse holders because he actually found a way to burn through them. So we upgraded his fuse holders to some larger ones that handle more current so they won't melt down on him, which fuse holders can melt for those customers who want to beat on it, which is okay. Beat on your system, that's what it's for, you know. But once we discover how you're going to beat on it, we do need to make sure the fuse holder supports whatever we're trying to do. We also have, so we went through the whole system. We did a big upgrade as far as interior power. So whenever you design to do a system, just remember that don't build it to be non-upgradable. What I mean by non-upgradable is the point is that when you're doing a system, you might feel that you need more energy eventually because you will adjust. Now this customer did some sound deadening. He did all the good stuff. We repaired everything in the original install where we just redid all the wiring. So his car was a passive system. So he had 2 amplifiers. He had a 4-channel running tweeters and the mid, so 2 channels were running that through a passive crossover, which if you have a passive crossover, you're gonna strain the system. I wouldn't say strain, but you're gonna lose energy because you just put a bunch of resistance in line. So he had a 4-channel amplifier running tweeters and mids. He had 2 of those channels bridged to the actual mid basses in the door, and this is all Focal. And then he decided he also had a small Alpine piggyback amplifier running the rear speakers because he wanted some power in the rear. Originally, it didn't have the rear power. It ran out the decks because we just were trying to fix a bunch of stuff in the beginning stage. Then that 4-channel amp came in. We added the rear speakers. We built the custom sub box in the past video for some 10s, for some JL 10W6s, and then he decided he wanted to sound better, more, I should say, a lot better from the standpoints of all the energy. It didn't hurt that his crossovers, when they originally were installed, were in the door, so they had some rust development on it. Even though we cleaned it off, they eventually were starting to go south on them eventually, but he wanted to sound better anyway, regardless. So we did the amplifier upgrade up here. So we literally did away with all the passive crossovers. We changed out the Hertz DSP, the H8. We also took out the small little piggyback Alpine amplifier, and what we did is we took the the Audison APF 8.9 bit, and we did 2 channels. We did everything active. So we did 2 channels to the tweeters, so we had control of the tweeters. We did 2 channels to the mids. Now we have control of the mid. We also have control of time alignment, because now we don't have to combine signals or figure out which of your time alignment is going to work the best. We also took 2 channels and ran the rear speakers, and we bridged those. So technically we made a 8-channel amplifier into a 6-channel amplifier. Then we took his JL amplifier, which is a very good amplifier, as RD604, and we bridged that to a 2-channel. We ran the door mid basses on there, and that alone changed the system. He also decided that he wanted to upgrade the speakers, so I had to router out some new rings, because he had some nice speakers in there. He just made something work. He took like spacer rings from the speaker grill, and he stuck them back there. So I routed out some new ones and then reinforced it and made him push back his can. And as you can see, I'll put a video up. I posted the picture of the door speaker. We put foam on it, so it coupled the door, and all the energy goes in the door. Goes through the door directly into the car. And man, this system really good. From the standpoints of just the way it sounds and the way it reacts. It's kind of weird because he likes to sit with the seat back, so it gives you such a roomy energy. So in the process of tuning, as you can see here, that speaker physically is right by your ear. So I gave him a couple of different tunes. He does like to have rear speakers pretty loud, but I set it up so the first tune kind of had the rear speakers there with time alignment. Everything has time alignment. Even the first tune and the second tune has time alignment. The first tune, I just really toned it all the way down so the imaging was in the dash versus wherever it was going to find itself. And then I gave him a second tune where the rear speakers were considerably turned up, and he can actually take Audison's DRC MP can, which is there. He had a little controller before, and he can reduce the rear. He can fade the rear off if he really needs to, if he wants to have one or the other tune, because the tunes are very similar, but rear speakers are louder on the secondary tune. So I think we kind of hit all the heads on this one. The only upgrade he could do next, honestly, is to change his front speakers. Other than that, he's got all top-notch gear. He's got a JL monoblock 1500 running at about 1 ohm, running the subs, which he's a headbanger. He's got the Audison 8-channel running the interior speakers and the rear doors. He's also got the JL running the mid bass in the doors, and this system gets loud. I mean, to the point where it's really quiet in here, that when you're playing it, it's just loud. But it also sounds very detailed, very orientated. The JL software is really nice. And guys have seen me use it before, so it's not anything new. So I'm used to using all this, the softwares out there, JL, Helix, Audison, who else? You name it, Moscone. I've done all their DSPs, and I've actually controlled them all. And they're all pretty much good, powerful DSPs. Some I like better than others, of course. But you can't go wrong when you go to DSP. So this truck is a wrap Dodge Ram, old school, 210s under the seat, custom fiberglass box, 3 amplifiers, upgraded alternator, upgraded power wire, upgraded fuse holders. This thing has everything you could think of, and if he can't think of it, we'll figure it out. I'm sure he'll want more. And like I said, his next upgrade will be speakers. That's it. The only thing you can do next is speakers, and I mean by the dash speakers. That's it. So stay tuned for the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is Lance, moving on to the next system. There's always something cool coming on. All right, See you in the next video.